Hey guys, what's up? That's Swift here, and today I have finally my new upgrade for my PC after many years. I look back at my YouTube videos, and about 2 years ago, 1 year and about 11 months, I did an upgrade to my graphics card to the 980 Ti. But that said, the CPU was still very old, right? So I went to look even further back, and the CPU was almost 5 to 6 years ago. I did an upgrade. That's the 4770K by Intel, and this time around I'm going to change and upgrade it to something not the top of the line of the year or the era or the generation, but something that is definitely much better than the current one I have. So what I have here is all the different parts that I'm going to upgrade my new computer with. You can see it's not many things. It's just a CPU upgrade. Of course, the RAM to come with it because now it's already DDR4, and a new case as always. I always try to change the case to keep things fresh. This time around, I went with a not so big case. If you remember, my PC case was actually a full tower Corsair 600D. Right, that was so huge, massive, and heavy. It was amazing to work in because of all the space, but I decided to downsize it back to a standard size ATX chassis, right? So I'll go through the parts with you and the rationale. I'll be mainly reusing back all the different things that I have over the years. The graphics card won't change. The power supply is still good. I believe I changed it very recently because of a RMA, and then yeah, that's about it. All the different chassis fans and so on and so forth will of course be reused, right? And of course the CPU cooler. So talking about CPU cooler, I got myself the Noctua NM-AM4 kit. So if you know, currently if you buy the latest Noctua CPU coolers, you will obviously get all the mounting accessories for AM4 socket. But if you are old like me, 6 years ago, there's no such thing, right? So I had to buy a the external kit, of course, to mount my one of the best cooler, or if not the best cooler in my opinion, the NHD14. Of course, now the newer version is the D15, but I didn't want to spend extra money, so I just went ahead and get this, and then I'm going to mount it, mount my old CPU cooler on this new computer, right, or this new CPU. So that's the mounting kit I purchased. Then we'll just go through the processor here. You can see here the standard choice, the Ryzen R5 3600, right? Not the X version. I couldn't find it, was out of stock, and then so I just went ahead and buy this one, the Ryzen R5 3600, right? Not the top of the line. If you remember, the 4770K was like the top CPU then, the consumer CPU then. But this time around, I decided to spend a little bit less, and it's still better, right? So of course, with this new Ryzen CPU set, I need to get a new DDR4 RAM, and I got the Crucial ballistic RAM. This is the 3000 megahertz edition with the CL15. Of course, usually you want to tune it to 3200. That's the optimal, I believe, or the 3600 megahertz. So I believe this RAM here has been rated to be very overclockable and tunable. So I will go and do that, and I'll of course upgrade. I'll of course tune the RAM to 3600 if that's even possible, but minimum of course 3200. And then this is the motherboard, the go-to motherboard for of course AM4 kits, budget motherboard, that is budget, value for money, and performance, so on and so forth, right? So the B450 Tomahawk Max by MSI, this is my chosen motherboard itself. So you can see inside, so you can see here, of course, it's a very nice looking motherboard, all blacked out and things like that. There are countless of videos doing this. I'm not a professional computer person that can tell you what's great about this, but I believe that the VRAM, cooling, all the different things are good enough, right? So that's the motherboard, and of course the case you can see here, it's the H10, right? H510 510 by NZXT. I used to love their case. My first ever case building computer was the Phantom, if you can believe that. That was so long ago already. The Phantom Raid, I believe. And it wasn't my first chassis, but it was the foray into NZXT things, and I really liked their cases. And so this is the H510 by NZXT. That's my chassis that I'm going to shift into. So yeah, this is a quick introduction to all the different parts that I'm going to use. I will do a little talk about the PC once it is done. And of course, for those of you who are expecting RGB and things like that, you can obviously see all my parts are non-RGB. Not too much into that, or want to spend the money to get into all the bling. So maybe next time, right? Maybe another 5 years down the road, I will start into RGB. Anyways, that's it from me for now. I will show you the PC once it's done, and I hope everything, all the transfer and migration goes smoothly. Right, I'll see you very shortly. Right, sorry for the video or the audio quality. I'm using my phone now, phone audio mic to record. But yeah, you can see it's finally done. It took me so many hours. I haven't been doing DIY pieces for many years already, and so this whole transfer over to a new system took some time and much longer than I expected. I also met with quite a lot of issues, some really scary ones. You can see this cooler here. I tried to take it out because I wanted to put some wires in at the back, and what happened was that the suction between the CPU itself and the cooler, there was some air suction, or the thermal paste wasn't good or sticky or whatever, and when I pulled, the whole CPU came out. Holy shit, but lucky no pins were bent. I actually tried installing Windows already. Met some problems there as well, but I solved it, and yeah, it's finally done. You can see. So of course, that is the specifications. Here is that over there is the GTX 980 Ti, the palette Jetstream. We have a capture card inside because it came from my old PC. Why not? I also have a Sound Blaster Z sound card there. And then here is the NHD 14, not the 15. I believe it would look so much better if I got the blackout edition of the D15, but that costs a little bit more. And two fans there, one 140mm and one 120. I think it will perform well. This is like the king of coolers, and of course D15 is the next king. But the D14 should do pretty well as well. So one intake on top, that's the stop case fan. I didn't touch it. One out. And then I have two Gentle Typhoons taking intake. I want to have a positive airflow, so hopefully it will keep the dust out. So we have a total of 3 intake and 1 out. So you can see this case is pretty interesting because when I worked with it, it allowed you to hide a lot of cables and make things very clean very easily. This is without much effort at all in the front. Of course, then we have the tempered glass, and then you can see inside. But of course, unfortunately, I do not have any RGB or any bling bling. But it looks clean enough. And anyway, I'm putting it at the corner of my room anyway, so there's nothing much to see. So I'm gonna shift the angle and move to the back of the case. So moving to the back, this is the back of the case. Pretty interesting routing mechanisms here. You can see here they gave a few grooves here and there, a lot of holes for you to put cable ties and whatnot. And of course down there is a little bit like a mess. You can see there. I'm not the best at this, but it works. I mean, it works, I guess. And the front is clean, that's what matters, right? The front is the important part. So we have two mounting options here. I have my two SSDs, one for the Windows, one for my work-based related stuff. And then of course we have the fans on top. And we have 3 hard drives here, very old hard drives. One of them, the newer one right on top there, is a 5TB one, and the 2 bottom one is 1TB that I'll be configuring in RAID 0 for basically video editing and whatnot. I'm actually thinking of shifting it over to my SSD, especially now that it's getting cheaper and cheaper nowadays. So yeah, it's interesting mounting mechanism, but I guess what's difficult is that if you want to change the hard drive out, you have to actually go underneath and take out the entire cage in order to just change one. So that's a little bit troublesome as well. So otherwise, overall, I just this case is pretty interesting. I like it so far. and nice to work with. And yeah, it's finally done. I'm gonna pack up and put it together and put it into the corner, plug in all my peripherals, and install the software back again. Right, so I'll see you guys again very soon.